As of this recording, Ella Langley's Choosin Texas is 15 weeks at #1. She now has the record of the longest #1 single by a female artist non-holiday. Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas has the record currently at 22 weeks at #1, and she'll probably stack on that when Christmas rolls around again. The record that Ella Langley broke was by Mariah Carey and Whitney Houston. It was Mariah Carey's We Belong Together and Whitney Houston's I Always Love You. Now listen, Choosin Texas is a fine song. It's going to be basically Texas's New York, New York, because we'll hear that song all the time in commercials and things like that. So good for her. One of the co-writers on the song was Miranda Lambert. So it's a huge song from the countryside. But when you're telling me that Choosin Texas has broken a record of Whitney Houston's Always Love You. We Belong Together was fantastic. I love that song. But once we start talking about Always Love You, that's a completely different animal. It's almost watching Taylor Swift winning 4 albums of the year, and she has one more than Stevie Wonder and Frank Sinatra. Like, things don't make sense. Again, Choosin Texas is a fine song. But when you go back to Always Love You, and the Billboard philosophy back then was about sales and radio airplay, you can kind of understood why songs spent 15 weeks at #1 or 14 weeks at #1. When you look at Always Love You, it was played on pop stations, it was played on R&B stations, it was played on adult contemporary stations. You can hear people, you hear it in the stores, you can hear it in the restaurants. It was everywhere because of the Bodyguard soundtrack. People were all the time saying like, and they kept on trying to hit that note. That song was huge. I don't hear people singing Choosin Texas like that. I don't walk into stores and restaurants hearing Choosin Texas like that. I don't hear commercials hearing people sing Choosin Texas. And again, it's not against the song itself, but it's the streaming philosophy that Billboard has adopted for almost 15 years now, where someone like Taylor Swift has benefited from that. There is a quirk in that system where country music has figured it out, and Taylor Swift figured it out early on. And it's more than just the Swifties. Yeah, the Swifties can get together and help Taylor Swift. But there's a bunch of people who have like teams. Like you have Rihanna's Neighbor, and you have Beyonce's Bayhive. They've had a bunch of artists who have like strong fan bases. And the Swifties are very strong, but there's an added quirk in there where if you play a song or play an album by a particular artist and they have the right machine behind them, they have tons and tons of streams, which I don't think is fair. Now, again, you could say like, well, back in the day they had payola and things like that. Yeah, that's true, but they kind of fixed payola. But you understood, like when you heard Always Love You was like #1 for 14 weeks. He's like, yeah, that makes sense. And I think the 15 weeks, I think it was 15 and 16 weeks is One Sweet Day with Mariah Carey and Boyz II Men. That was like around 95. And you understood it just because how big Mariah and Boyz II Men were back in 1995. And it's a shame we don't hear that song anymore. And other songs that hit, I think 16, 17, 18 weeks, I can't remember. It's like the Macarena. Like, you understood why the Macarena was #1 for so long because you heard it everywhere. People still doing the Macarena. So, yeah. And the same thing with, what's that? Louis Fonsi, Despacito. And especially when the Justin Bieber remix came out. You understood it because that's the Latin charts and the pop charts and the Bieber fans. You understood these things. But Choosin Texas makes no sense. Like, if this was a couple of years ago, and you told me that Espresso by Sabrina Carpenter spent 15 weeks at #1, you was like, yeah, that song is hot. That song, you can't go anywhere without hearing Espresso. The funny thing about Espresso is it only peaked at #3. Espresso by Sabrina Carpenter never hit #1. And that song was everywhere. So how is it possible that a Sabrina Carpenter song that changed her career, that you heard everywhere, only peaked at #3, and Choosin Texas, which is a fine song, but you don't hear it all over the place, it's 15 weeks at #1? I felt the same way when Bar's song Tipsy spent 19 weeks at #1. I was like, who's still listening to this song? Everybody cleared it. Because I was a bigger fan of Jaquan's Tipsy. I understood it partly, but after that's like 19 weeks, really? Old Town Road, I'm not a fan of Lil Nas X, but because of the controversy and all that stuff, and then Billy Ray Cyrus jumped on the remix, you kind of understood why that song lasted for as long as it did. But Choosin Texas, I have no clue. But this is what I think is going to happen. I don't think Billboard is going to change this philosophy at all. As long as Taylor Swift is dominant, they're not changing that philosophy because it benefits her. But whenever people start to get tired of Taylor, or they don't buy her stuff anymore, or the Swifties has moved on to somebody else, then I think they're going to change the philosophy. As long as Taylor hits, they ain't changing it. They ain't changing it. But once her star starts to fade a bit, they'll change it. Because there's this loophole that's gaping where Ella Langley has spent 15 weeks at #1, and most people probably can't sing the song or attempt to sing the song. I know it's not the 90s anymore. I know it's not about sales anymore. I understand it. We have to change. Streaming is part of it. I absolutely understand it. But when you're telling me that Ella Langley's Choosin Texas is just as popular and big as Whitney Houston's I Always Love You, we got a problem.